2026. I know it's still kind of weird to say it, but as we head into the new year, I know something all parents and kids are thinking, how do we get better this year? Well, more ice time sounds great, but between school, family time, and just being a kid, it's not always realistic, right? So, what really helps young players grow is hockey IQ, learning how to read the game, make confident decisions, and understand why things happen on the ice. And that's where our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena, continues to come through. Sense Arena uses VR and mixed reality training to help players work on the mental side of hockey. It gives kids meaningful reps, helping them build confidence, awareness, and strong habits at their own pace. So for skaters, that means better reads and puck control, and for goalies, faster reactions and improved tracking. And for coaches and parents, it means purposeful development that supports what's being taught at the rink. So to get started with our special offer, visit sensearena.com/OKPH and use the code OKPH to save an extra $25 off an annual plan or headset bundle if you need one. Once again, that's sensearena.com/OKPH. Use the code OKPH. Get yourself that discount. That's 50% off the standard monthly cost, plus an additional $25 when you use the code OKPH. Welcome to 2026. Let's get you into this episode right now. Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world, and welcome back to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. It's Lee and Mike with you here today, and we brought our friend Sandy here, who is a mindset expert. He has worked with pro hockey players all the way down to youth hockey players, and what we want to talk to you about today on the Ride to the Rink is about the ride to the rink, on the way to the rink, right? We talked on our big episode this week about the competitive engine and how some of you think, I'm going to be honest with you, you can just step on the ice in a game and turn on the engine and compete and be at the best absolute mindset, ready to go all the time. And kids, I got to tell you, that's not the case. It doesn't work that way. And the older you get, the higher level you get. You need to prepare mentally to get that competitive engine, those competitive juices flowing. And it usually starts sometimes on the way to the rink. Sometimes it starts kind of in the team warm-up. But I wanted to bring Sandy on to talk to you about some of the things you can do on the way to the rink to get that competitive engine going, some of the things you can do before the game, so that when you step on the ice, your engine is revving already. You're not just turning the car on for the first time, to use that metaphor. But Sandy, thanks for being here today. Tell the kids a little bit about some things they can do to get their competitive juices flowing earlier.
I think the biggest one is this concept of focus. So what should we be focusing on? Therefore, what shouldn't we be focusing on? And I think a little way to kind of make that understood, everybody does this. I do this too. But if I said to you guys right now, don't think about an elephant.
Mm-hmm.
I know you just thought about an elephant. Everybody does. And the reason why that's important is because the brain can't process those negatives. So if our pre-practice or pre-game thoughts, if there are a whole bunch of don't do's, don't miss the net, don't be nervous, don't make mistakes, don't. The brain doesn't work like that. So what players can do immediately is you can chop off any aspect of the don't do's. All you have to do is fill your brain with the to do's. Right? Like if I want you to skate fast, I'm not going to say go out and don't skate slow. I'm going to say go out and skate fast. So positive thoughts, specific thoughts. We don't want to engage in the don't do's. We want to lock in on what you want to keep inside your head, not what you're trying to push away and not think about.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and I think going with that too, right, Sandy, is that after they listen to the episode, they turn their phone off and they put it away. That we'd like to just, can you talk a little bit about getting into that mindset and getting into that routine of how do I prepare for a game and a practice the same way, because I have to compete, and what can I do that's socially acceptable and is not pulling the phone away from me as a player. But what are some little hints and tricks that you could give a player, and maybe some advice on like why that's so detrimental to their ability to get ready for a game?
I know that specifics always lead to other specifics. So, in terms of the thoughts, I always encourage players, like, what at the end of this game or practice, whatever it is, what is it that we want to be known for? Like, what is the optimum outcome? Not because we're going to think about outcomes, like we want to have a theme. So for instance, it could be, okay, today outwork everyone, everything's at full speed, make plays, take chances. Those we can wrap our mind around the specifics of what that means with verbs and actions, and we can live in those thoughts, right? Because we want to be tapping into thoughts that start with I am, I can, I do. That's where we want to live. So I always remind players, get specific. It doesn't have to be outcomes, but if the goal was to go out there and outwork everyone, players understand what that means. And a great one, I think, is go out there and be impossible to be ignored. Go be impossible to be ignored.
You know, I got to say this too, Sandy. The follow up to that, right? I love the way you put that. Kids, you also have to know you may set those standards and not meet them in a game. If you meet them, great, you're going to feel great. But I think sometimes we do that, and you might come out of the game and think, I didn't make myself known today. I did not give my best today. If you can acknowledge that and use it as a growth aspect, that's fantastic. It's when it becomes negative and more negative, that's when it starts to drive you down, right? You're not going to be perfect most days. You're not going to be 100% most days, but the pursuit of that, kids, that's kind of the trick, is getting a little bit better each day. You talk to NHL players, they say, I just want to get a little bit better each day. You talk to high performing people, I just want to get a little bit better each day. I think when you're young, there can be this, I'm supposed to be great now. And I actually don't know anyone in the world that thinks they want to be great and becomes great in the moment that they're thinking they want to be great. They're great because of that pursuit of
Right.
It's the daily, every little thing that they put in.
You know why today matters? It's almost like, coaches and scouts, they talk in terms of seasons, right? Like they're going to say, okay, show me your season, your stats. Like they're going to stick out their hand and say, put your results in there. Players, we need to think in terms of today's.
Yes.
Right? Like we're just trying to win the next today, because eventually when we add up enough of the today's, that's going to be the same language. Like,
right.
Here you go. Here's 555 today's, right? And It's like that really is the goal. Right here, right now has to be the most important moment. And we grind today, not because we might achieve everything tomorrow. We grind today because eventually we're going to have to hand over all the today's. Today's matter. And for the younger people listening, players, please, please, please make this one last kind of shift. Let's start measuring gains, not gaps. Your thought process. Let's start measuring the gains, not the gaps. And I love that thought for post game. Could it be better? It can always be better.
Right.
We could be fat. That's a different question of, was it good? Right. Like both those things can happen at the same time. So let's start measuring the gains. You can be hard on yourself, be critical. That's fine. But you also have to be your own biggest fan. That's the most important.
Well, I love about the today's too, Sandy, because I'm always saying to kids, you can reflect on your past. Don't live there. Reflect on it so you can learn. Look to your future. It's important to have big goals, but all of the work, all of the stuff you need to succeed in those future goals and to learn from your past takes place in the now. The work you're doing now is what leads to the quote unquote greatness that you're searching for. And kids, if you can get a grip on that what you're doing today, get a little bit better today. I always encourage you kids, maybe write out your wins for the day every day. If you do that every day, you have a 365-page book of wins by the end of the year.
Yep.
All right. Those are important things that you can do, but focus on what you're doing today. Okay. And again, on the way to the rink, this is where zoning this out. This is where the work kind of begins to do that. What is your objective today? Make sure it's a good one. Last thing I'll say too, because you said this early in the episode with the elephant, just to kind of bookend this. Kids, I've said this before. If you're skiing, and whether you've skied or not, you'll understand this, and you're saying, don't hit the trees, you're going to start focusing on trees. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to hit a tree. But if you focus on the path, right? And all of you that play, you've seen that path on the ice once or twice at least, you'll find the path, right? So that's an important one. Learning how to hear negative thoughts and understanding that, oh, I'm hearing a negative thought. Let me push that away. That's a topic for another episode. This has been a great ride to the rink. Mike, anything before I close this out, or Sandy as well?
I think talking about the opportunity to deliberately do these things prior to getting to the rink. You're in there. You have to. These are things you have to consciously do. You can't. By not doing them, you don't know. You don't know if you've accomplished. The I cans, I ams, or I do. You don't know that. You have to write it down. Put it in your phone, put it in your notes, or just think about it. Put yourself in a place where you put aside a couple of minutes before practice and games to think about what these are, so you have some type of measurable when you get off the ice.
There you go.
I love it. All right, Sandy, this has been great. Mike, been great. Kids listening, this has been great. Once again, this is the Ride to the Rink. Kids, remember, wherever you're at on your hockey journey, we believe in you. You should too. Skate hard, have fun, get better every day. We'll see you on the next Ride to the Rink.